We're into the regame here, so let's get onto Ohana. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning once again in the top left position, having a little bit of problem in the first game with his computer. Hopefully getting it fixed now. The Wizard Zerg himself may have cast an incorrect spell, but everything is now back on course. We have Ziktomini. And over here in the bottom right-hand corner as the blue Protoss. Very gracious of him to allow the regame. He was a little bit frustrated that we had to start again. So our distinct apologies to him. Hopefully everything is going to be fine. He does put the pylon on the low ground again. Will he be going for that Nexus first? We have AcRo. So guys, this best of 3 is going to determine who gets that seed to the round of 16 at I-47 at the ESET UK Masters Finals. The winner will also get, of this best of 3 series, £100 in prize money for winning the online tournament. They will get £150 towards their travel for the tournament as well. And they will also get VIP tickets in addition to that round of 16 seeds. So a lot's on the line here. You don't really want to have to fight your way through a 1.5 day long group stage and a potential huge bracket if you can just waltz straight in and play in the round of 16. That's always, of course, infinitely useful. The probe now going to be moving out to the natural expansion after harassing the mineral line for just a little bit there. And yes, AcRo is in fact going to go for that Nexus first once again. The probe is going to run around and try and stop Ziktomini from taking his natural expansion hatchery. So it looks like the game is basically being played out on roughly the same time and level that it did last game. Is AcRo going to try and mix it up just a little bit here with a pylon as well? Maybe the drone is getting so close. Is he going to be able to put the hatch down? Yes, only just though. Well played there from Zikto. Choosing to get it down very, very quickly indeed. And we have a very similar setup for the wall-off coming out of here from AcRo as well. Forge in exactly the same location. This may as well be a carbon copy of the game before things went sour for Ziktomini's computer, so it looks nice and dandy here. He's now going to be moving out with his first 2 Zerglings towards a third base location just in case the sneaky probe is there to try and cannon rush it up. And look at that, patrolling around the edge of the minerals as well. Very, very diligent in his scouting and needs to be. I like that he is doing that coming out of Ziktomini. AcRo, in the meantime, he's going to be going home with this probe once again, no doubt, as soon as he sees that the third base is down. And the Zerglings will spot that the probe is in the area. And he should probably be getting around. Wow, does he not see it? Did the probe actually sneak out of vision? The probe snuck out of vision of Ziktomini. And he's going to be able to get a pylon down. Ziktomini wasn't paying enough attention to his mini-map. He should have seen that blue dot. And now we have a pylon going down at the back of the third base. Ziktomini, is he going to see it? So close. Is this Overlord gonna see? He needs to, and yes, he sees it now. And oh my goodness, first cannon going down right this second. Second cannon going down immediately as well, and the probe is just gonna run away from this Zergling as quickly as it possibly can. And we have a third cannon. Will a second pylon go down as well just to cement it and prevent Ziktomini from taking the natural expansion location? Really, really exciting stuff there. Yes, and the third base gets cancelled. He might as well. He's actually going to leave 1 cannon alive just to make sure that that third base doesn't get taken. And the regame, Ziktomini's map awareness, unfortunately, wasn't quite what it should have been. He saw the dot on his mini-map that it was the probe from AcRo. He saw it with both of his Zerglings at one stage or another, but it just wasn't quite in range enough to attack, from what I can understand. And as a result, AcRo snuck in that cannon. We do actually see an alternate third base location coming up. I wonder if AcRo is going to attempt to try and cannon this up as well. He does have the probe there sort of running around. It's only at 10 shields, though. Needs to be so careful. And no, he's not going to try. He knows that, though, the new base is in a very vulnerable location from Ziktomini. And it's going to be that much more difficult for Zikto to defend this third base because the walking distance to this third is significantly more than, say, between the natural and the third, especially if the destructible rocks are taken out between them. So as a result, AcRo might... Oh, wow, he's actually going for a very fast third base of his own. So he's not going for a huge two-base timing or something like that. He's going to put down his third Nexus and say, look, you're super vulnerable. You're going to have to defend for a while. And I am going to really ramp up the aggression here as far as economy is concerned and try and get ahead of you that way. And Ziktomini does have an Overlord to check out the third base location, but it's actually moving southwards at the moment, which means he might not see the Nexus. It's going to be so close. He doesn't see the Nexus at the moment. And it stopped. Okay, no, he does move it to the right, though, and he now sees the Nexus going down. Gateways and cannons here to defend the third base location, and he needs to as well, because a whole bunch of Zerglings are about to pop in. Another gateway going down to try and get a little bit of SimCity up. There's only one pylon. One pylon is powering everything at the third base for AcRo at the moment. We need a second pylon. We probably need a third. The pylon goes down. Everything is unpowered. The second pylon going down as well. And now we don't actually have the destructible rocks down yet. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We have the Pro coming out to try and put the pylons back down. It looks like he will be able to get the pylons back up. And if he gets both of those up, he should be okay. That was a very big scare there. And I think with better micro, actually, Ziktomini might have been able to prevent this from happening. But as it stands, though, he has to move back. That was such a tense moment there for AcRo. Cancelling one of the pylons now. Those 3 gateways and 2 photon cannons will be able to get powered once again. Another gateway going down. We have an Immortal being chrono boosted. Are we going to see a 3-gate based Immortal push? We have got the destructible rocks between the natural and the third taken down now from AcRo as well. So this third base location obviously is super vulnerable for Ziktomini. But it is up to AcRo to try and make something count of it. We are going up to 5 gateways at the moment off of 3 bases, so he can obviously afford a lot more, but he wants to get enough probes out to get to his natural expansion and his third base as well, and just mine that as much as friggin' possible. In the meantime, Ziktomini is actually going for the Spire tech at this moment in time. He is up 60 workers to 54. As it currently stands, and AcRo is going for a Twilight Council. So he's also going for +1 armor, so he's getting 1/1. That Twilight is possibly so he can get those 2/2 upgrades pretty quickly. I wonder if we're going to see a second Forge come out of him there, because we have got the +1 armor being chrono boosted right now. The Twilight will finish, of course, long before that +1 armor is complete, so that will allow him to start that +2 attack if desired. And let's see if he goes for Blink or Zealot Charge or something like that. He is safely on 3 bases versus Ziktomini's 3. He's now taking his 4th, where his third base used to be. And this base on the left-hand side for Ziktomini is just so vulnerable. I wonder if AcRo is thinking of a timing against it. He should, really. But Ziktomini is actually going to be the one that's being aggressive. He's going to pull the army in 2 separate directions. We have the Mutalisk coming in towards the main base now of AcRo, while some Lings and Roach is going to be moving in towards the third. That's a lot of Mutalisks, but we have actually got a decent number of Stalkers here as well. And the Mutalisks do not engage. They are forced to move back out, so AcRo able to stifle that risk there, and he's going for Blink as well. That's going to be super useful, and I think Ziktomini's best option right now is to try and go for the third with his entire army together, which is exactly what he's doing, because the Mutas no longer have the element of surprise. A couple of Lings get through the force fields, and the Mutas are able to take out the Immortal, but at what cost? Because so many of them are going down right now. Those sentries effectively one-shotting them, and an Immortal does go down, but a second one does hold it there. Another gateway coming up, and AcRo is feeling pretty comfortable here, to be perfectly honest with you. We have Blink almost complete. We could see some more Immortal production come out. And in fact, we're going to be seeing a second robotics facility and a robotics bay come down. So we are going to see some Colossus play come out of AcRo here. Still off of 3 bases. 107 supply versus 132 at the moment. Going to completely wall off the third base location with gateways. Going up to 5 at the third, 2 more at the natural. So that takes him up to 7 gateways, plus the potential to get double Colossus production out on the way. So this is looking comfortable for a Protoss player at the moment, but Ziktomini is doing what he needs to do. His 4th base is now mining, and he's taking his 5th base location as well. Oh, and look at the main base of Ziktomini. So smart. He sees the Observer there and morphs in the Overseer right there. It's so hard to see an Observer when it is standing still. But Ziktomini manages to do it, morphs in the Overseer, and takes it out. Work supply is currently 74 to 71 in favor of Ziktomini, who is at 152 supply versus 121 at the moment. We have got double Colossus production coming down, and holy gateways, Batman, in the main base of AcRo at the moment. We have a grand total of 7 additional gateways coming up because, hey, why the hell not? That takes us up to a total, ladies and gentlemen, of 14 gateways. And a lot of extra pylons getting put down behind the mineral line as well. So 14 gateways, chrono boosting, extended thermal lines as well. A huge timing push is coming out here from AcRo. He is getting seriously ready for this. And we also have +2 ground weapons being chrono boosted out as well. I'd like to see +3 coming out of him too if he has the gas for it. That double Colossus production is continuing. +2 is about to finish. 3, 2, 1, and there it is. Are we going to see +3 come out of AcRo at this time? Yes, we are. Immediately started. And this push, this death ball push coming out from AcRo could be huge, but let's not ignore what Ziktomini is currently doing, because the Mutalisks are coming in to try and do a bit more harassment. The Greater Spire, ladies and gentlemen, is on the way, and the most vulnerable time a Zerg has in a game versus Protoss is when that Greater Spire is on the way, and when those Corruptors are basically useless supply. So if AcRo is able to push soon, he can steamroll a number of bases that belong to Ziktomini before Zikto can get in with his Broodlords. And we're now single filing it out of the third base because that's just the way the buildings were accomplished. The Stalkers go marching one by one, and that is the rule here. But it's... Oh, AcRo is now pushing out onto creep. He has got an observer with him, so he will be able to pick apart the creep threat, immediately sacking that base. Zikto, so smart. He knows he needs to sack a base to buy time. He needs to get those Broodlords out. And if he can buy enough time to get them out, he can have a much, much better engagement. So AcRo is going to move in to this left-hand side base location, and it's basically just going to be forfeited. The last muta, unfortunately, Zikto not focusing on those mutas in the main base, does get taken out in the meantime, and AcRo must realize there were no drones here. He's obviously just holding out for those Broodlords. He needs to start moving forward. A lot of Colossi with this army composition right now, and a decent number of Stalkers as well, not actually killing off all of the creep because the Observer was left by the wayside. But here we go. The Observer is actually in front of the army right now. The Spine Crawler is doing a bit of damage. We have the Colossus coming in, and we can actually see the Broodlords come forth. Really nice Overseer picking off the Observer now as well. What will AcRo be able to do? He's at 200 supply. Ziktomini is at 198. This could spell the end of the game for one of our players here. Completely maxed out. A lot of Colossi here, and AcRo does not have a Stargate, guys. This is not your typical Broodlord versus Mothership game. He is just going for it with as many Stalkers as he possibly can. It looks like he's going to be attacking this base on the right-hand side, just trying to contain Ziktomini on 3 bases. Are we going to see a massive blink forward? Double Guardian Shield going up here. And yes, there's a blink forward, and there are only Infestors here. Where is the rest of the ground army? Ziktomini might be facing a premature death here if we get another blink, and we do indeed. The numbers of Broodlords are going down rapidly. Only 5 at the moment, but AcRo at the same time. The units came in from behind and completely picked off all the Colossus. So that was huge from Ziktomini, risking the lives of his Broodlords there, coming in with the flank, able to pick apart the army of AcRo, and he now enjoys a 20 supply lead, 135 to 115. That was a ridiculous engagement. What a huge risk from Ziktomini, leaving his Broodlords basically entirely vulnerable, but coming in from behind with those Lings and Roaches. It turned out to be okay in the end, but my goodness, were we holding our breath there for a while. And now we have 22 Lings. We have flyer attacks coming in as well to help with those Broodling strikes. 3-3 on the way will help a lot as well, but we do have upgrades coming in from AcRo as well. He is getting that +2 ground armor, and no doubt he'll be going up to 3-3 as soon as he possibly can. More Colossi on the way. He is not going to your typical Stargate composition. I think that's really worth noting here. And he did temporarily restrict Ziktomini to 3 bases there, guys, but Ziktomini is just retaking those 2 bases. He is going up to 5 and potentially 6 if he takes that bottom right one as well. Is that a drone sat there, actually? In the bottom right base? No, it's a Zergling. Okay, cool. So he's going straight up to 5 base. He has got to 165 supply. AcRo's back up to 153. Might be able to deathball it again, but he does not have a Stargate. He doesn't have a fleet beacon. There is no Mothership involved with his army, so Vortex is not going to be an option in this particular game. AcRo is going for the heavy-handed, I have more units than you approach. in this PvZ. Let's see if it works out in the long run. Going up to the 21-minute mark now. 2 more hatcheries about to complete for Ziktomini. More Broodlords on the way, taking the total count at the moment to 8 Broodlords with 5 more incoming, 13 Broodlords. And I am beginning to think now that unless AcRo has a lot of anti-air and is maneuverable, that Ziktomini is looking relatively good for this engagement without that mothership tech. A lot of Colossi out, though. He will be able to kill the Broodlings quickly, but the Broodlings don't cost any supply. That's the real issue for AcRo at this moment, and I am just a little bit worried for him. It looks like the engagement is going to start soon. More upgrades coming in from the Great Aspire. No harassment coming in from either side. The investors are moving forward. This is a great opportunity. 2 of them getting taken out immediately there from AcRo, but a bunch of Broodlings popping in, and the Colossi will take them out instantaneously. Good engagement there from AcRo, and we have got a Zergling run by against the 4th base, and oh dear, this has to prompt AcRo now into an attack. AcRo cannot stay on 3 bases forever, and this really is the problem for him here. He's going to be moving in towards the 4th base location of Ziktomini, but the Broodlords are right there, trying to bait the Broodlords out. Will he be able to get enough the Spike Bombs and Infestors out? Good blink forward with those Stalkers, picking off a couple of Broodlords. Is it going to be enough? There are a lot of Infested Terrors coming out from Ziktomini. AcRo down to 145 supply. Do we have a flag? No flag coming in from behind. This time those Colossi are able to micro back, but the Stalkers are getting picked up. AcRo does not have enough, and here come the Lings finally, and the Colossi are starting to go down. This is not looking good. He is restricted to 3 bases as well, and Ziktomini definitely has a stranglehold on this game. Now he is back up to 195, 200 supply versus the 109 supply for AcRo, and this is why we have that mothership play with the potential Vortex and the Archons for the late game. We have no Archons, we had no Stargate in this game, and AcRo is looking like he is paying the price. 92 Zerglings coming out from Ziktomini, and he should be cleaning up here, and he will be going within a single game of that sponsored seat to I-47. These Stalkers are dropping like flies. Way too many Zerglings out on the field. He might get the Broodlords, but look at how many Lings are left. And Ziktomini is just going to be able to walk across the map. AcRo down to 60 supply now versus the 174 from Ziktomini. And power overwhelming is about to decimate the Protoss third and the Protoss natural. We're getting 8 more Broodlords on the way. Why? Because we frickin' can at this point. Ziktomini playing this very patiently. I'm surprised he didn't just send those Lings into the 3rd base, but frankly, he could do either in this game and still probably win at this point. He is mining once again off of 4 bases because the main base, of course, is mined out, and he is slowly pushing the Broodlords across the map. He will be able to take this game. AcRo, let's take a look at the income tab, actually. Ziktomini is currently mining more than twice as much as AcRo, and AcRo is unable to take his 4th base. I think that really is the story of this game. So AcRo holding on valiantly there. Oh, sending out a small bunch of units in the middle of the map, but the sentries even getting fungled there. And the Broodlords are going to have a little bit of a buffet on these units. GG from AcRo. Ziktomini wins game number 1.